Welcome back to Knicks Deli, everybody. What up, Knicks Nation? I need y'all to pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Because we have company in the house right now. Apparently, Philadelphia brought the whole damn crew with them. You hear Sixers fans are in the building for the first time. They're smiling. They're all happy. They're excited right now. You see they got their jerseys on. Maxi's hyped. They're already talking about the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay? Some of them are actually talking about the NBA Finals. A few of them may already be planning a parade. All right? Our confetti hasn't even fully dropped yet. And I understand it. I do. Because when you add one of the greatest basketball players who has ever lived to your team, you're supposed to be excited, right? So Sixers fans, enjoy this moment. I need you to take pictures. I want you to make videos. Buy the jersey. Argue with fellow Knicks fans online. Talk your talk. Because you have LeBron James now. Congratulations. Seriously. But before this celebration gets completely out of control, Knicks Nation and we need to explain something to you. You see, you did not just add LeBron James to the Philadelphia 76ers. You added LeBron James to a conference that already belongs to the New York Knicks. And LeBron, my man, welcome back. I want to welcome you back to the Eastern Conference. It's been a minute. First off, all business aside, how have you been, bro? How's the family? How are your knees? Is everything working good? Everything functioning properly? Because I heard you might be moving back into our neighborhood, actually. New York. And listen. Despite what you may have heard, we are hospitable people here in New York. We are, right, Knicks Nation? We'll help you move. We will carry a few of your boxes. We'll do you even better. We will help you get that big television through the doorway. I'll get a couple of my peoples from Brooklyn to help you move that couch. Matter of fact, we'll get you a nice Airbnb in Manhattan. I'll personally set you up with a P.O. box. Get you a Metro card or something. Kind of what I do, 9 to 5. I'll also send you a list of restaurants. Yeah, hell, come to Knicks Deli, baby. You already know.
Everybody eats here at Knicks Deli.
But LeBron, there's one small house rule that we have. And I need you to pay close attention to this part. Do not get too comfortable. Because the New York that you remember, that place doesn't exist anymore. That Knicks team you used to visit, gone. That disorganized franchise you watched everybody make jokes about and you helped make jokes about, gone. That team everybody used for leverage during free agency, we gutted that mother flipper. We tore everything out of that piece. We pulled up the floors. We knocked down the walls. We changed the writing and the wiring. We fixed all the plumbing in that piece, cleaned out the basement. We removed every ounce of the dysfunction, changed the leadership, changed the coaching, changed the expectations, changed the culture. Then we rebuilt the entire organization, brick by mother flipping brick, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice, victory by victory. So when you arrive in the East this time, you're not walking into the same situation. Just in case you weren't clear, you're not coming back to bully a franchise that's searching for an identity. It's not what you're doing. You're not coming back to Madison Square Garden as the background for another nationally televised performance. That's not what's going to happen. You're walking into the home of the defending NBA champions, the New York Knicks, And Sixer fans, don't forget, I can already hear you. But we have LeBron now. Yes. Yes, you do. And congratulations. Again. But look around the room. Do you see Knicks Nation? Look at us. Do we look afraid to you? Do you see anybody hiding underneath the table? Let me answer that for you. The answer is nah, bro. Because we've been waiting for this. We wanted the competition. We want all the smoke. We wanted somebody to step forward and challenge the champions. And the NBA shifted because we won. And Philadelphia volunteered. So come on down, bring Embiid. Maxey, bring your hyped up ass. Bring LeBron. Bring the Liberty Bell, goddammit. Bring Rocky's statue too. Bring everybody. But when you come into our house, understand that we recently purchased some very expensive jewelry. Some heavy jewelry, some shiny jewelry, some championship jewelry. And with all due respect, we don't trust anybody arriving from Philadelphia around our valuables. I'm sorry. And that's not personal. That's simply good home security. We're not leaving our jewelry box open. So LeBron, you can admire the ring. I know you got four of them things. I want you to take a picture of it. I want you to post it online. I need you to tell everybody how beautiful it looks. But please, keep your hands where Knicks Nation can see them. Get your hands out of our pockets. Because we intend to add more. Contrary to what your 2-year contract says, Sixers fans, this is the part where you probably expect us to become defensive. You expect Knicks fans to start explaining why Philadelphia is not dangerous. That's what you're waiting for us to do. You expect us to minimize LeBron. You expect us to call him old. You expect us to say that he's finished. You expect us to pretend as if he can't play. I'm telling you, first and foremost, we ain't doing that. LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players who has ever touched the basketball. I'm giving you credit for that. What you're getting now is the highest level of intelligence, LeBron James. The historic passing, the physical dominance is still there. It's historic. His longevity is ridiculous. And even at this stage of his career, LeBron James is putting already a talented team together, and that matters. We respect the player. We respect his resume. We respect what the man has accomplished and continues to accomplish. But Knicks Nation, help me explain this to these cats. Respect is not fear. Acknowledging his greatness does not mean we're surrendering to it. And Sixers fans need to understand what the difference is. Because you're not walking into an Eastern Conference waiting to be rescued. You're walking into a conference that already has a champion established. The champion is out of the East. A champion with a Finals MVP named Jalen Brunson. A champion with Karl Anthony Towns. A champion with Josh Hart. Champion with OG, a 2-time champion with OG Anunoby. A championship with Mikal Bridges. A champion with Miles McBride. Your former coach, who had to come to New York to become a champion. Mike Brown, as a head coach, a champion with depth. We got chemistry too. We got leadership too. But most importantly, we're a champion with proof. You have possibilities, we have proof. You have projections, we have proof. You have off-season excitement, we got proof. Sixers fans, you got LeBron James. Knicks fans, we have the Larry O'Brien trophy. So let's be clear. All you experts, Gilbert Arenas, Philadelphia has become the center of the Eastern Conference. because of LeBron James, that's what you're saying? Nah, they're the newest challenger to a team that's already sitting on the throne. And that's why I love this move. I love it. We here in Knicks Deli and Knicks Nation, we're not upset. And I don't know if I could stress this anymore. I'm not worried. I'm energized. Because after everything that we've endured to reach this pinnacle, after all the years of being laughed at, after every superstar, including you, LeBron, used our name for leverage, after every analyst told us that nobody wanted to play in New York, Rich Paul said that too. Look at what's happening now. Us winning and the entire conference is trying to load up to beat us. They're not making these moves because the Knicks are irrelevant. That's why I had to get on here. They're making these moves because the Knicks, we're becoming unavoidable. The league saw how we won the championship. They looked at our roster. They looked at our chemistry. They looked at the front office. They looked at our culture. They looked at the fans and the fact that the city was on fire. And they said, nah, baby, we better do something about this. Now we got them reinventing the super team era. They're making blockbuster moves. They're trying to create Avengers memes. And it's beautiful. Build the Avengers. Bring that superhero that you can find, because nobody assembles the Avengers unless there's a Thanos waiting for their ass. And Knicks Nation, who has the stones? Leadership? That's us. Sacrifice? That's us. Defense? That's us. Chemistry? Who else? Coaching? That's here. Championship experience? That's 3 times. That's now us. Sitting at the center of it all. We're calm. We're composed. Our mother flipper leader is cold-blooded. Larry O'Brien trophy is in one hand, finals MVP in the other. The only king we respect in this conference is the king of New York, Jalen Brunson. So LBJ, welcome back. We respect your history. We respect your career. We respect your greatness. But this is NYC. And around here, there's only one king, as I said, that we respect. That's the king of the NBA right now. The Brundertaker. Bring your ass through those tunnels and get some of this work. Now, Knicks fans, listen up, Knicks fans. Sixers fans, listen up. Let us have an honest conversation, because y'all are talking y'all talk right now. Everything's on fire. Y'all creating videos, but let's not have no screaming. I come in peace. Let's not have no fighting. No throwing cheesecakes. I won't throw the chopped cheeses. Let's talk basketball. For most of LeBron's career, he's been the center of gravity in the Eastern Conference. So he got a little bit of history. Every organization was building this roster with him in mind. So we give him that. Every coach had to ask the same question when he was on the top in the Eastern Conference. How do you beat LeBron? They was even calling Toronto LeBronto. He was a gatekeeper. He was the mountain. He was the destination. Y'all think y'all getting that type of LeBron? While LeBron was dominating the conference, we were not operating on equal footing. This is why I'm happy he's back. Because when he was last here, we were disorganized. The leadership changed though. The coaches changed. The plans changed. Sometimes it felt like the direction of our franchise was changing every 15 minutes. LeBron spent his prime competing against the broken version of these Knicks. And that's not an excuse. That's simply the truth. That's the one piece I want to point out. When everybody's talking about, oh, LeBron, this, that, and the third, or we, look, everybody made jokes about us. Everybody enjoyed coming to Madison Square Garden and using our building for their personal showcase. Opposing players treated the Garden like it was their Broadway. They circled it on their calendar. They came in, had their performance, received the applause and left. That ain't happening no more. LeBron, you ain't getting the broken version of us, bro. You're getting the organized version. You're getting the championship version. You're getting the version that already has an identity. You've seen it. You watched it while you got eliminated from the playoffs. This version has accountability. This version is where players understand that the name on the front of the jersey matters more than the statistics behind their names. Miles McBride had an interview recently. He entered the conversation and said something that all of us in Knicks Nation understood immediately. Deuce essentially pointed out that the NBA often rewards players that lose. And Sixers fans, before you become offended, I want you to listen to this point. Basketball culture has become obsessed with individual production. A player scores 35 points in a loss and receives praise all night on ESPN. Another player scores 11 points, but locks down the opponent's best scorer, takes the charge, makes the extra pass, and wins, and he barely gets a mention on that network. This league celebrates numbers. Championship teams celebrate impact, because almost every player in the NBA growing up being that guy. The best player in their neighborhood, the best player in high school, the star in college. And then he reaches the NBA and he has to accept something difficult. Everybody cannot be the guy. Philly, you're going to be facing that problem. Everybody cannot be the guy. Somebody has to sacrifice. Somebody's going to have to defend. Somebody's going to have to rebound. Somebody's going to have to take fewer shots. Somebody's going to have to make the play before the assist. We as champions, we do that. That's how we won. Somebody on your team is going to have to make the play that doesn't appear in the highlight. This is why Karl Anthony Towns became such an important example in New York. Cat had every credential required to arrive in New York and demand control. The man was a former number one pick. He was coming from a franchise where he was a franchise player, max contract talent, elite scorer. But he didn't come here demanding every possession revolve around him. Kudos to that man, because he came here and he adjusted. He sacrificed. He became part of something larger. And that is the difference between assembling talent and building a champion. Now, LeBron has experience as an individual on those teams. Philadelphia, you may have added another enormous talent. But now comes the difficult part. How will everybody fit? I'm going to enjoy watching that. Who sacrifices? Who changes? Who accepts fewer touches? Who remains engaged when the offense goes to somebody else? Who does the dirty work on your squad? Those questions don't get answered at the introductory press conference. Those questions get answered in January. They get answered after losing streaks, as we've seen here in New York. They get answered when somebody is unhappy, as we saw in New York. They get answered in the fourth quarter of playoff games. The New York Knicks have already answered all of them. You watched our story unfold. This is why we're confident. Not because Philly lacks talent. We see the talent. But it's because New York has already demonstrated the alignment. The different personalities, the different skills, the different responsibilities. One purpose, winning. So Sixers Nation, I want you to celebrate your move. You should talk your talk. And we're going to talk ours. The Eastern Conference crown didn't automatically relocate to Philly, though. So let's just be clear. That joint is still registered here in New York City. And possession, 9/10 of the law. If you want that thing, though, pull up. Come get it. But understand this. You know Knicks Nation is in a room. And you saw it all on the TV during the parade. We ain't stepping aside. The only king, that we respect here in the Eastern Conference is the King of New York. Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there ain't no struggle, there's no progress. But also remember this, whether it's out there in the real world or here in these YouTube streets, here in Knicks Deli, baby, everybody eats. I'm your boy, Shia, and I'm out. Peace.